Well, I am an admirer of Elisa's. Elisa has even worked for me, and the fact is that she is talented.
What's it called? Kermit and Friends?
Kermit and Friends.
Kermit. But if
Kermit.
You're saying
like
not to do...
Yeah,
Wait.
I actually have watched a few hours of Kermit and Friends.
How many hours have you watched, Natalie?
Oh, no. Probably indulged in 8 hours.
Holy.
My wife and I watched Benji's ex-girlfriends or whatever's going on. We watched this crazy podcast, and I have to say, this is one of the, probably in the top 5 things I think about right now.
She has a podcast, but she gets to come on the radio. It is craziness upon craziness.
I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch, I'm a boss, I'm a bitch.
After that. So, yeah, we'll be doing some more like man on the street stuff. We'll be interviewing people, but really we're doing it to make friends, you know, because that's what this is all about. Kermit and Friends is making friends. And our first guest, Wheezy, is going to be a great friend. She wrote this book, Empower Yourself. Okay.
Very awesome.
Do you feel empowered, Wheezy, at all?
Sometimes. Right now, not so much. I need to read a book like that. I need to read a book like that. You know how life has ups and downs. Sometimes in those pits, you need to like broaden your horizons a little bit. And so, yeah, I'm perfect timing for this guest.
Are you having a hard time right now, like in life?
Yeah, my health isn't so great right now, and so I've been dealing with that, and it's just rocky for me. But you know, I just keep a positive attitude. But sometimes you can only be so positive, and so having a guest like this would be perfect.
Yeah. Actually, I was reading this book, and she had seizures, like as a kid and in adulthood, and had a lot of health problems. So she's been talking about that. So maybe this can be helpful for people with, you know, health issues or any problems, and you feel like, you know, you don't feel empowered. I've felt like that in my life where I just feel like crap. Like my disposition is like feeling like crap, you know, like that's how I wake up every day, like my whole life. Right. So so like I have to do things that make me like not feel like crap. So for instance, like doing the show, like really gives me life and surrounds me with people, and I get to meet people. So that helps. Yes. And then like, you know, me and Elaine going on the street, interviewing people, that has been so fun.
It has to help. Yeah.
It helps. I'm telling you, because I just take the other people's energy, like the other people's good energy, and I take it for myself.
Yes, that's so perfect. My favorite part so far of that was when you tried to get the midget to come out and talk to you, and he was not having it at all, which makes me think that people are always trying to get him to come over and be on camera.
Yes. I met a famous midget. I'm pretty sure he's famous because he didn't want anything to do with us. At all. I mean, he really didn't want to talk to us, but we want a midget for the show, obviously, and it's hard to get them. But I recommend to be in the Kermit and Friends Discord server if you want to make friends, and then we can help you. And that, not only that, but now we're making some income from this, and we could teach other people how to do that. And for me, that's just that is paying off so much. It's like I could cry about so many things right now. Just Wappy calling me to help me today. Sweet. He's just really a nice guy, and Wheezy and Charmin taking over. They're incredible. Everybody here has been just such a blessing for me. And it just made my life so much better. Elaine, my friend Elaine, stepping up and saying, hey, let's go to this festival today. Let's interview people. I go, what? You want to do that? All right. Yeah, I want to do that too. And, you just find people that are similar energy with similar vibration to you. A person that I hope is like that is this person today. Let me just bring up her notes. She wrote this book, which I think is going to help a lot of people. This book is going to be very powerful for people like Wheezy, for people like me. I've been very depressed, you guys. I seem happy sometimes on the show, but it's just because I'm doing the show. If I didn't have the show, if I didn't have the IRL stuff, I would be very miserable. So Stacey Chillemi is an entrepreneur, a best-selling author, a speaker, and a coach. She's the founder of the Complete Herbal Guide. She has empowered hundreds of thousands of people from countries worldwide. She has over 20 books published. You guys, you know how hard it is to write a book, get it published? How the hell you do that? I don't know. She's written for the Huffington Post. She's been a frequent guest of the Dr. Oz show, which is like a humongous show. You guys know that. Everybody, welcome to the show, Coach Stacey Chillemi.
Hey, how you doing? How's everything going?
Great. I'm so happy you're here. You're an inspiration. I've been reading this book. Okay. I started reading your book and I was, you suffered from, these seizures. What was that? Is that like a surprise condition that happened as a kid?
Actually, it was, I had this a little cold virus flu type thing going on, and I had a little ear infection. My mother heard a gurgling sound in my bedroom. She came in to check on me, and I was actually turning blue, and I was in a grand mal seizure. So she had rushed me to the hospital, and right away they saw that, it was more than just the flu, and they had induced me into a coma. And I was in a coma for 4 days, and they had told my parents most likely if she comes out of this coma, she's going to be paraplegic or have severe brain damage.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So my dad, who was from Greece, he came from a little island, Greece. There used to be a church there with a statue, and he's praying and he's, thinking about this statue, and tears are coming, down the statue's eyes in Greece. So he's thinking about that. And then he looks up after he prays and he sees a teardrop go down my eye. And I open my eyes, and the first thing I asked for was McDonald's French fries. And and so, I didn't end up paraplegic. I didn't end up with brain damage, but I did end up with epilepsy. So I struggled my whole life. It was like a roller coaster ride, ongoing seizures, all the time. And then later on, I went to college, and I was struggling through college, the late night, going out, partying, trying to get good grades, all the good stuff, all that stress, was causing me to have more seizures. And
oh, really?
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if I was even going to get through college. And, one day I just had, I had written a letter to the Epilepsy Foundation in Washington. They had a little magazine, and I asked them to publish this article. And I asked people, how do you cope with epilepsy? And I had 300 to 400 letters from all over the United States and Canada come to my house. And I started reading these letters, and they were so inspiring. And they actually gave me a lot of inspiration, and they actually gave me a lot of good tips. And I realized, hey, I'm not alone. There are a lot of people just like me. And for the first time in my life, I realized that, if they could do it, so can I. And so I graduated college. I went on to working for a big corporation in the city. And then one day I felt a funny feeling, which they call aura. And I was walking in the hallway, and I had a seizure, and I fell down. And a producer had walked right over me, and he kept walking, and I looked up, and I was like, wow, I can't believe this guy just walked over me. And about 30 minutes later, I was released from my position because of that. And, I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to reach for the goals that I had planned to reach, and I'm going to make it through. And I started writing. I started my own freelance business. I started writing for professionals and corporate people. And one day, I met this herbalist, and this herbalist, had me do a lot of research for him. I was like, wow, this stuff, it could actually help me. And I started applying a lot of the stuff that I was learning to my own health. And I went from 12 seizures to 9 to 8 to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I became controlled. So with the combo of my medication and living a healthy lifestyle, I was able to control my seizures. So I started writing more about health, and I created a little website. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Blogger back in the day?
Yes, I do.
So I started off with Blogger, and 400 people came, and I was like, wow,
400 people came to Blogger?
Yeah, I was really impressed. I was really impressed. And so then I was writing for this website designer, and he would create the content, and I would he would create the website, I would create the content. And then he said, I could really make your little blog into something really nice. And he created this beautiful website for me. And before I knew it, it went from 10,000 to 100,000. And people were really interested about learning about how to heal a body naturally. And, I went from there to writing all these different books. And then one day I said to myself, not too long ago, I was like, you know what? People, it's great to teach about health, and it's great to teach about living a healthy lifestyle. But what about the empowerment? People go through life and they need empowerment. If you're not empowered, you don't want to feel good. You don't want to feel better. You need to feel empowered. In order to do anything positive and good for yourself, you have to have that power. So I focused on writing the book, Empower Yourself, to release the power within you, to be able to teach people that we all have empowerment in our bodies. We carry the strength to overcome any obstacle in life. And I teach step by step in that book how to go from A to Z, from going from being in denial, to getting to the point in life where you can feel like you can accomplish anything you put your mind and all those desires and dreams. Well, you can make it happen. And I teach that in my book because it's so important to feel empowered and good about yourself. And so many people don't feel good about themselves.
Okay, so what would be the first step for somebody that's totally down, they just feel like life hates them, they don't have any hope? I see you write about hope a lot in the book.
Yeah.
And you could lose hope, because bad things happen in life where you don't have any control over it. So somebody like that has bad luck. I mean, some people, they just have bad luck and bad things happen to them and nobody likes them. What would you say to someone like that? How do they start?
Well, you know what? The first thing I say is, when people go through things in life, a lot of people are in denial because a lot of people don't want to face their problems. They don't want to face their issues because, facing something, it's scary because once you're get out of denial, then the problem's there and then you have to face it. And that's scary. A lot of people fear change. So, you really have to get out of that denial stage and say, hey, this is happening. I gotta face it, and I gotta go full force, and I also talk about after you get out of that denial stage and after you've decided, what, I'm going to do something, even though it's scary, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to accept it. A lot of people have to realize that life is not perfect. I don't believe in that word. We all have something. There's always things going on. Some people do have bad luck. One shitty thing happens after another. But you have to, you know what? You have to learn how to accept it, and you have to learn how to love yourself. Because a lot of people, after a while, when all these things start happening, they look in the mirror and they're like, fuck, I don't like myself. I don't like the life I'm living. I don't want to be here anymore, and you got to learn to be able to get to the point in your life where you can look in that mirror and say, I like that person who I see, so I teach about loving yourself. I go step by step to teach people how to, one, get out of denial, two, how to get.
My friend Chad has epilepsy and his service dog has been trained to save him if he ever has a seizure. Have you ever had a dog like that, Stacey?
No.
Good question.
I know lots of people who have seizure dogs, and they're very good. They're actually so trained that they know ahead of time. They can sense it because dogs know they sense smells that humans aren't able to smell, and they know they can sense before a seizure comes. and they're able to actually help that individual, you know. And I was actually, when I was young, I was at someone's house, and they had a dog that was trained by police, and one of the things they were trained for was seizures, and he knew ahead of time that I was going to have a seizure, and I had went unconscious, and when I woke up, I was in his mouth, and he was moving me back and forth to try to shake me out of unconsciousness. So yeah, seizure dogs are great, but not everybody needs them. But for people who do need them, they're amazing. They're amazing.
So your life right now, is it pretty like steady as far as health goes, or like what are your biggest challenges right now? Like, are you
my
still?
seizures are controlled right now. You know,
Okay.
I went back and forth like a roller coaster ride, but you know, I tell people, you know, the power of positive thinking can get you through a lot. You know, like we were talking about before.
Yes.
You were saying, how do we get out of that? You know, and I was talking about accepting yourself, loving yourself. You know, the power of positive thinking, you know, getting those repressed feelings out of yourself. You know, these are all steps in the book that I talk about that actually could help you, you know.
Okay, so you have to go step by step. We have a caller. Yes, Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hi, Elisa.
Hey, John.
Hi.
Thanks for calling in.
Stacey.
Hi.
Wow. What an inspiring message you had.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a retired paramedic, but I work. So
wait, John, your service is bad. Go near a window. He's saying he's a retired fireman. We know that. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sir.
Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But you know, we treated seizure patients, you know, the whole time, and got into, you know, the physiology of that and how difficult it was, and all the hopelessness, and for you to get through that and be where you are, and it's just very inspiring. I mean, I was blown away. I was just listening to it. I asked, you know, I got a call in to.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So nice, John. So you're inspired by what Stacey's saying, and you'll love her book. I'm telling you, it's a great book. I'm reading it, and it's really like simple the way it lays it out. Like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's steps. You just go through the steps. Yeah. Like this guy Robert in the chat, I think he's a fan of yours. He's saying she's the greatest coach, so she could be your life coach. So if somebody needs a life coach, which we probably all do.
I'm telling you, Stacey, what you described, because I've had my own challenges throughout my life, health-wise, and addiction, and this and that. But what you described and how you're getting through it, and denial, and all the phases of that is like a prototype of recovery.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Which is can work for any disease.
Yes,
know? And
I talk about that in my book.
I want to read your book, and
yes,
thank you.
I'd like to get in touch with you because
definitely.
I'm retired now, but now I have physical problems that I'm in denial about.
Really?
And yeah, absolutely. And it's very refreshing to hear somebody who's gotten through, because there's nothing. I can't imagine anything more frightening than a seizure disorder.
Yeah, a seizure would be horrible. Nobody wants a seizure. Exactly. It's horrible, John. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I got to tell you,
how she's overcome this, and the natural methods of overcoming a lot of medical problems that nobody realizes, and I lean towards the natural cure. So.
Yeah, like an herbal cure. Yeah, exactly. Like Stacey. Okay, you guys are going to be best friends. I can already tell. Okay, John, I got to move on. I love you. I love you.
All right.
Thank you, John.
That's John. He's a sweetheart. He's such a sweetheart.
Sounds like a sweetheart.
He's a chatty Cathy, though. But yeah, he's a sweetheart. But yeah, I mean, you're inspiring people. So I do think I kind of need a life coach right now, because I don't have any like confidence sometimes, like in certain things. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? And like, can a life coach just like be a yes man? Like, what do life coaches do? Like, what would you do? Like if you were my life coach and I was like, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. Right? Like, how do you start with that? Like, how does a life coach start?
Well, first you got to talk to the person, and you really need to understand who the person is, what they're suffering from, their goals and their objectives. You know, you really need to understand who they are as a person. And you start slowly. You know, you actually talk to the person and let
One second. I'm sorry, coach. Everybody's calling. What? You couldn't hold? Sir? Hello, Kermit and Friends.
Hello, hi. This is Lawrence.
Oh, hey, Lawrence.
I have a question for Stacey.
Okay.
Sure.
I've been like looking at YouTube videos about life coaches and stuff, and my question is: does Stacey prefer apples or sugar cubes?
Apples or sugar cubes?
That's your question? Why is that your question? Come on. Who is this? Come on. Ask her another question. Ask her another question. What is that?
Okay.
Ask her a better question. What?
What size saddle?
Cattle?
Yeah, saddle.
Saddle? Oh, so how would you even start with this guy? He definitely needs a life coach, right? So he should go to you. All right, thank you, sir. All right,
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, if somebody like that wants to waste your time, they should definitely be paying you.
Yes.
So if they want to pay you to be their life coach, how do they contact you?
All right, so you go to StaceyChillemi.com. That's STACEY, and it's CHILLEMI.com. It's my first and last name. And you can go onto my website. It talks about my coaching. It has my books on it. It talks about my speaking. I do a lot of keynote speaking. I go in front of people and I speak to a lot of audiences, and I do a lot of book signing. So, all the info is there. They can actually schedule an appointment and I could talk to someone. I even offer a free consultation.
Where are you? Where are you located, Stacey?
I'm located in New Jersey, but I work with people globally,
Okay. Oh, this guy's in New Jersey calling. Yes, Kermit and Friends.
Cool.
Yeah, hi. I would just like to ask Stacey. Stacey, how does somebody who's a person who's on disability, an alcoholic, 50 years old, living with their parents, and still trying to make it on YouTube, how does this person actually do it?
Well, first of
His
all,
name's Bergs, by the way. He lives in Washington
Who are you talking about? I know this is a personal vendetta you have against someone. Who are you talking about right now, Noodles?
This guy Bergs. I've known this guy for a while. I've been trying to be really positive to the guy, and he doesn't take any kind of advice whatsoever.
All right, I got an answer for you.
All right, she has an answer, Noodles. You're in tremendous luck. Stacey has an answer, so I'm going to hang up with you. You listen to what she has to say, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
All right, love you, Noodles. That's Noodles. I would say to Noodles, don't focus on that guy. He obviously doesn't like that guy, so I don't know why he's focusing on him. But what would you?
Got it, baby. Listen, you gotta hit rock bottom. You have to want to change. If the person doesn't want to change, no matter what you say, no matter how positive you are, it's never going to happen. That person has to want to change.
Yeah, so you got to want to change. You got to want to turn your life around. Actually, our next guest, I think you're going to like. This guy, Mark Hughes, completely turned his life around.
Awesome.
Yeah, our next guest, he was like in prison, I think from robbing banks. Yes. So this is incredible. So everybody just say one last time how they can reach you through Stacey Chillemi. Oh, 1 second. I'm sorry.
Bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss.
You are inspirational and beautiful, Stacey. A lot of Kermitarians could benefit having you as a life coach.
That's true. I believe that. Like, I would love to have you as a life coach. Oh, by the way, what do you charge for being a life coach?
Well, I have different packages that I offer, and they're on the website. So it depends, like how many sessions you want and how long you want to do it. So everything's on the website. They can go on the website and find out all that information.
Okay, and Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
I'm everywhere. I'm on all the
platforms. Everywhere. Okay, so just Google her, you guys. She was on Dr. Oz. She's a famous life coach. It's not hard to find her. Thank you so much, Stacey. You're amazing.
You're welcome.
You're incredible. I can't wait to finish your book, and stick around.